This week on Indy News, my head is 3D scanned, then exploded. Adobe Creative Cloud gets hacked. A woman with telekinetic powers causes a scene in New York City. Eric recreates scary effects from Cabin in the Woods. And a simple tutorial for DIY slime. Hey Indy Mogulers, Griffin here. Happy Mogulween to you. Take a look at my head. All 3 dimensions of it. If I were a big budget action star like, say, Chuck Norris, they might take a 3D scan of my head and use that to animate on top of a stuntman's head. Or maybe we could use it to produce Indy Mogul, the video game. I thought this was pretty high-tech Hollywood stuff, but then I realized I can get a 3D scan of my head done just a short drive from my house. The Community Fab Lab in Champaign, Illinois is part of a global network of over 200 fabrication laboratories, many of which are free and open to the public for
all kinds of things. You can do a laser cutting, you can do 3D head scans, routings, you can carve holes into materials.
My animator friend AJ has invited several friends to get their heads 3D scanned.
So you're going to spin in sort of a circle, like just try and stay in the same place. Okay. Probably go pretty slow though.
All it takes is a Microsoft Kinect and software called Reconstruct Me for PC. In real time, we have a full 3D model of Matt. Now it's my turn. Maybe smiling was a bad idea. That just looks creepy. We kept getting weird scans of Matt's face, but on the 3rd try, it finally looked okay. Whoa, AJ, don't do that.
Save me!
Now that we have 3D models, we could print them in plastic using one of the lab's 3D printers, but that's not why we're here. AJ is producing a short animated film for a local Halloween film festival, and he's turning these 3D models into busts in a museum. The 3D scanning software, Reconstruct Me, costs about $250, but there's also a free trial version. Plus, freeware like Cinect is also available. AJ, what other software do you use?
We put it through a program called MeshLab, which converts it into the correct format of 3D so that I can then import it into the animation software Maya, where I'll do all kinds of things with it, where I'll be using physics to like explode the heads and that kind of thing.
I'm pretty amazed that this technology even exists and can produce a 3D model in real time. But is the quality high enough for film?
There's obviously a little bit of faceting and like a loss of a little bit of fidelity when you move from real life to the computer, but there are tens of thousands of vertices on each head.
Wow, tens of thousands of data points. So scanning someone's head is way easier than trying to draw it yourself. AJ's film, The Gnomon, will premiere this Halloween at the Freaky Creek Film Festival in Fairmont, Illinois. And if you're interested in working with the tools a Fab Lab has to offer, check out this map to see if there's one near you. The link is in the video description.
If you want to mess around with Griffin's fake head, he sent me the 3D scan file, and I've put a download link in the video description. It's a .obj file, which lots of programs like Blender, MeshLab, even Photoshop can open. Now speaking of Photoshop, if you happen to be a Creative Cloud customer, you might want to keep an eye on your inbox. Last week, Adobe was hacked and almost 3 million customers had their information compromised, including their Adobe IDs and passwords. And while they don't believe any unencrypted credit info was stolen, they are taking the precaution of getting in touch with users who were possibly affected. Not a great thing to have happen after the consumer backlash Adobe suffered through after switching to the Creative Cloud as opposed to the Creative Suite earlier this year. Another reason I'm glad I still get a lot out of my CS6. Last week, there's a good chance you saw this video, a hidden camera video featuring a girl who has telekinetic powers using her abilities to pin someone against the wall and to move things around the room, genuinely freaking out a lot of the customers there in that New York coffee shop. This video turned out to be a viral marketing stunt for the upcoming remake of Carrie, pulled off by the same company that made it look like people were flying around the skies of Manhattan back when Chronicle was coming out. Viral marketing stunts on this scale certainly create a good amount of awareness, but do they translate to bigger box office numbers? It's rare one gets this much attention, so I guess we'll see if it makes a difference after this coming weekend. But hey, does it have an effect on you? Let us know in the comments below. At the start of Mogulween, our friends at Project Ed launched a video contest with a special Moguler-only cash prize. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, click here. Their announcement video featured some DIY slime, and today they sent us a clip showing how this simple effect is created.
Hey creators, my name is Sandy and I'm the Project Ed Community Manager. Last week you saw that we created a gooey slime effect in our Halloween announcement video. This is a very simple effect to create that can make its way into your films in many different ways. For example, it can be used as radioactive slime. This week, I'm going to show you how we created the slime from some simple household products and give you a sneak peek of the science behind it. To get started, you'll need glue, water, food coloring, and borax. Borax is a household cleaning product that you can find in your local supermarket. Alright, you ready? Let's get our slime on. First, you'll need a bottle of clear glue and a jar like this. Then pour the entire bottle of glue into the jar. Then fill your empty glue bottle with water. Yikes. Then combine the two. And stir it around. Normally with glue, the liquid fills in the microscopic spaces on a surface and dries into a solid. That solid, like other solids, is made up of molecules that are tightly packed together. That's how glue sticks things together. But we're not here to use glue the way it's normally used. But before we go any further, let's add some food coloring. I personally like to add 2 drops of yellow and 2 drops of green and stir it around. Meanwhile, in a separate container, mix 1 cup of water with 1 teaspoon of borax. As we're doing this, borate ions are forming in the water solution. Pour the borax solution into the glue mixture. Slowly stir, and molecular magic starts to happen. Stir it until it gets to the consistency that you want. Right now, long chains of molecules are starting to form that include the borate ions. This thing that's forming is called a long chain polymer. This polymer is unique because it has the qualities of both a liquid and a solid. It can take the shape of its container, like a liquid, or it can hold in your hand, like a solid. And if you get it right, it even bounces. Other examples of polymers include Jell-O, rubber bands, plastic juice bottles, sneaker soles, and bubblegum. Now that you know the science behind slime, why don't you make some for your next movie?
Speaking of DIY, you only have 2 more days to submit your best DIY video tutorials for the Mogulween Terror Trials. Any cool horror effect, show us how to do it in 1 minute, and email your YouTube videos to mogulermade@gmail.com with Terror Trials in the subject line. We'll showcase the best videos this Friday. Also, send us your scary short films by next week. Those need to be under 3 minutes, and you'll find more information about the Terror Trials in the video description. In today's playlist, we start with the latest episode of Epic DIY Effects with our good friend Eric Beck. In this episode, he shows how to pull off an effect from the film Cabin in the Woods, where a large knife gets stabbed straight through an actor's neck. After that, check out the viral marketing video for Carrie that we mentioned earlier if you haven't seen the full thing yet. Also, to follow up on last week's GoPro Hero 3 Plus story, we've got a much more in-depth comparison video from Rhino Camera Gear showing the differences between the Hero 3 and the Hero 3 Plus. And to round out the list, check out this awesome video from Apsis Motion Pictures, a live-action, shot-for-shot recreation of the opening scene to StarCraft Brood War from 1998. They recreated the intro incredibly well, and if you listen closely, you might be able to pick up on a very brief cameo from someone who might be me. Wait, cameo. Is it a cameo if it's only a voiceover? Is there a different term for that? Well, anyway, be sure to watch Griffin's first video about the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera from last Friday, and remember that this Friday, we'll be checking out the best DIY videos you guys make for the Terror Trials. Thanks for watching.